You're listening to Binging the Devil's Fruit, a One Piece manga read-through podcast where sometimes during the binge we take a break, kick back, and put on a movie or TV special. And sometimes we even bring along friends. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Binging the Devil's Fruit. This is episode 72 of the podcast. I'm your host, John Mukiwara Jam, joined as always by my co-host, Dab Peanut.
Hey!
And today we have not one, but two special guests. We have returning guests, Rudy Bobooty.
Hello, everybody. It's your resident cutie.
And Prince Luffy, who I met through their last appearance on the channel.
Yay! It is me. I am back. I know you missed me.
So, it has been quite some time since I recorded an episode of this podcast, and once again, it's time to take a break from the manga to review a One Piece movie. And that movie is One Piece Movie 6, Baron Omatsuri and the Secret Island.
Ooh.
This movie has been planted in my brain forever. Why? Well, you'll see. Other than that, it's one of the only movies directed by acclaimed Japanese animation and film director Mamoru Hosoda, who you might know for some of the Digimon movies. He also did Summer Wars.
Yeah,
Yes.
I was about to say, this is the Summer Wars guy, and he directed The Beast and the Boy.
Was it
Yeah,
like the
he did a One Piece movie.
earlier Digimon movies, like the first one?
Yeah, like the ones that have like the loose art style and everything.
That was him.
Shots, yeah.
Yeah, he directed the movie we're watching today.
Oh.
Digimon, digital monsters,
Digimon
Digimon
are
are
the
the
champions.
champions.
And I cannot wait for you guys to see it. I don't think I want to hype this one up too much, but I think this is the best of the films that Oda did not write.
Okay.
Like, of the early era, which is like the first 7 movies, I think this is the best one. Does it hold up?
Wow.
Well, why don't we find out together? And if you want to watch along with us and hear our live reactions to everything, Austen, where can they hear that?
Patreon.
Yay.
Patreon.com/Super Bonus Round. For just $3 a month, you get our early access to episodes a week before they're supposed to go out, but you also get access to the exclusive commentary tracks you can watch along with us. The reviews themselves will always be free, but the commentary tracks are exclusive. All right, I've dilly-dallied long enough. Everyone ready?
Ready.
Let's do it.
I'm very excited.
And that was One Piece, the movie 6, Baron Omatsuri and the Secret Island.
I'm having nightmares.
Holy shit.
Hell yeah.
So
I no longer trust flowers.
you never should.
It was good. It was good. It was good. It was good. I like
So
it.
I think
was
it's a bit
amazing.
early to say this, but I'll say it anyway. Out of the pre-Oda writes these now movies, the best one?
Mm-hmm.
I
Without
loved
doubt.
it.
So,
Okay, so I've only seen one other.
mhm.
I'm like a little biased.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think this one was really good.
Yeah, I loved it. I was
Yeah,
obsessed.
from the early era of One Piece movies before Oda started writing the stories themselves, I think this stands on the top, if not. No, the other ones are not that good. This one, holy shit. So before we get into our categories and nominate what we think should win those, we should give like a little bit of summary of what the hell happened. And Austen is our maestro for that. So Austen, do you want to start with tell everybody what this movie was about if they couldn't watch it?
Okay, so the Straw Hats received a message advertising Omatsuri Island. It's a resort that promises spas, salons, dream food, and the most beautiful woman. With every pirate on the Grand Line, I'm being welcome. And Luffy decides to go take the crew there. And at first, the island seems to be an uninhabited jungle, but as they wander, they stumble upon this resort that looks like it was taken straight out of Vegas. And that's when the owner of the island, Baron Omatsuri, arrives.
Omatsuri.
Yeah, like he has all these people with sprouts on their head, and it has a real palm tree thing going on with his head.
I said that they were like
They
said they were like the human peon to
terror.
Super Mario Sunshine.
Mm-hmm.
And I said they were like the Pikmins have gone through puberty.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that.
Yeah. And let's see. So let's see. Well, I was looking through the Wikipedia.
Okay, so my dude comes out of the gate saying that if they want to enjoy the the festivities and the niceties of the island,
Spa, the food,
they have to
everything.
Yeah. They have to compete in the trial of hell. And while everyone else is understandably like, hey, what the fuck? Luffy is, of course, like, okay, that sounds
We
fun.
survived
Let's
the
do
Davy back fight. What's one more?
So the first trial that he brings out this dude. I believe his name is Mochigoro.
Yep.
Yeah. And he's apparently an expert in that little goldfishing fish game with the little nets
The really cheap
that they
one.
play at Japanese festivals. And so Usopp comes out first, and he's like, obviously, I'm gonna be so good at this because, I mean, of course I am. But turns out that the Baron et al. Were playing them, and they were not really meant to capture little goldfish because Mochiguro has a big ass pet goldfish
Named
named
Rosario.
Rosario that popped out of the water, and she is actually the goal.
Yeah.
You want to go, Rudy?
You guys can take
Okay,
turns.
so
Yeah.
they're like, oh my gosh, we are so fucked. We can't do this. They lied to us, but they managed to catch the fish by Robin uses her powers, makes a net, and the fish bounces into the other bucket, so they win the first trial. And then
Well, Chopper.
yeah, it's
It
Chopper.
bounces on Chopper, and then
The
Chopper throws
goldfish
another
comes
bucket.
down, and Chopper turns into a ball, and the fish bounces off. And despite all this, Luffy's like, "Yeah, let's keep on going." But also, the entire time, Robin keeps on mentioning a flower because there was a flower on the map, but she hasn't like seen
Mhm.
this flower, and she keeps focusing on it. And so for the second trial, it's a ring toss, and it is Usopp and Nami are on one team, Sanji and Zoro.
We did forget to mention, and I will insert very quickly,
Yes.
that the Baron Omatsuri has a flower chilling on his shoulder the entire time that speaks in a very like squeaky
Cutesy voice.
voice. Yeah, it's almost like, I guess, like his parrot essentially is kind of how it comes off.
And he's the only one who
you know-
has this flower. Nobody else has it. It's just him who has it.
Yeah.
And see, like, okay, so again, like the only flower Robin has seen is the one on his shoulder. She hasn't seen any other flowers. So then, while the other four are partaking in the trial, Chopper, Robin, and Luffy are hanging out. Robin gets what was his name?
Mochiguro.
Muchiguro, I think.
Drunk.
Mochiguro, sorry.
While like Chopper points out, this island's like really empty. It's a resort island and there's not a lot of people here. Meanwhile, someone's throwing rocks at Luffy and he discovers a random pirate on this island, but that pirate's alone. Keep that in mind. Okay, who wants to go next?
Okay, let's see. Yeah. So
Do you want to
let's
go,
see.
John?
Oh yeah, John should go next.
Okay, so I was trying to bring up the wiki while you guys were talking to follow along. So
No, I-
so they have like the boat race against like the four frog people. Like they all have Karo in their name, and that goes about as well as the race in the the Davy back fight went, where Nami and Usopp are arguing, and if you thought their arguments were non-productive, Zoro and Sanji are there to say, "Hold my beer," because those two can't cooperate. Well, I mean, they can, but it's very, very difficult.
Yeah.
In their little sexy outfits on their
Yeah, can we also mention that these guys are dripped out for this movie? I think this is the first of the One Piece movies, if I remember correctly, where they have like unique outfits. Like that becomes a constant going forward in the films, but in this one was one where I really noticed that they had the wacky outfits, especially
they're all,
Usopp.
like, in,
I just like
Usopp wearing his Bob Marley cosplay.
I just thought that like in that particular scene, Sanji's got this like, I just came from like a performance of Shakespeare in the Park, like V-neck, flowy shirt, and Zoro's shirt is literally open. And this was earlier than that became like a character trait. So there's no reason for that in boys, unless it's a date, and it is to me in my heart.
So yeah, and the race, the frog people, let's just call them, try to cheat by cooking fish and like blowing the smoke from the grill onto them. But then they catch up because it's like, oh, you can't blow smoke on us if we're ahead of you. It's like, okay, bet. Here's the hot coals and we'll burn your ship.
Yeah, so but they find boxes labeled emergency supplies, and Nami opens hers up, but it just contains 2 coffee mugs, and she uses them to try to scoop up water to put out the flames.
Dude, her reaction when she used the cups was hilarious.
They were a matching set too.
Yeah, but then, when Usopp opens his, it turns into some kind of glider that glides just wraps around his torso and glides him away, leading Nami to believe that he's abandoning her.
Yeah, except he's just being off-drafted by the wind. And probably also the smoke from that fish that they were cooking earlier. Probably didn't help either.
Oh, yeah. She thinks he's abandoning her, but he couldn't get the thing off of him.
Yeah, it was literally strapped to him. Like, he opened the box and it, like, latched onto him.
Yeah, like, it's like one of those older, I guess, like, not early Power Rangers, but, where, like, the whatever device just kind of leaps out and just chooses its person or whatever. It was kind of creepy, actually. It was on theme for the rest of
Yeah, and then see what happens is as things start to get a little darker as we go along, but
not before a Scooby-Doo chase.
Yes, the Scooby-Doo chase.
Oh yeah, Luffy chases after the little Chaplin guy.
and a beautiful cooking competition. But yeah, Scooby-Doo chase first.
That happens first, and Luffy eventually catches up to him. And then the little Chaplin guy introduces himself as his name is Brief of the Chirohige Pirates, which I'm guessing is something facial hair because that's what Hige is. And he asks Luffy repeatedly if he wants to join his crew. And through the brilliant use of not animating him at all, they just hold on Luffy, not moving. Not it's not because they ran out of budget. Like that, it's this beautiful thing that I like that cartoons do sometimes. They use hold for comedic or dramatic effect, and for this, it was one of the funniest parts of the movie. Because
I think that like I would describe it as like Luffy.exe stopped working.
He ran an illegal operation and needs to close.
Yeah, he's just like staring at him, listening to this guy. He's trying to give him.
He's fully buffering.
He's trying to give him warnings, like, "Hey, you guys should probably leave. This is not a good place to be."
Yeah, before he gives him the ultimate warning, he said, "Well, if nothing else, heed this warning: stay away from Baron Omatsuri. He will break your crew in half."
Yeah.
And then I think we get to before the cooking thing, Chopper finds a gravesite littered with graves and matching flowers.
Yeah, and we're talking like an expansive amount of graves. It goes on like for pretty much like the entire shot that we're given, which I would say is probably at least 300 or so plus people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just an excessive amount of gravestones. And yeah, they all have beautiful little flower arrangements on them.
Yeah, and then somebody like sneaks up on Chopper, and at first you think it's like some bad guy, but it turns out to be another pirate. This one is a father. He has kids.
Did any of us catch that dude's name? I only know him as Papa.
They just call him Papa. And he's like, hey, yeah, this island's like weird. I'm trying to protect my family. You know, and he says, because the Papa thought that Chopper was one of the Baron's men, and he has a son and two daughters. Their names are Rick, Rosa, and Daisy. He says like they came here to camp for a picnic. You know, but then he like realized too late. You know, it was a lie, so they ran away. He tries really hard to appear like strong and brave.
Can I beat you up to oppress my kids?
Yeah, he basically says that. So Zoro and Sanji are not like doing well on their end of the race because they're just, you know, bickering. They finally catch up to the ship, but like they're so focused on each other and their fights that they keep on like beating up the ship and it gets destroyed. However, one of the other frog people has managed to like escape, and he gets a ring on Sanji. Nami is unfortunately stuck in a ring. It looks like Zoro's gonna get caught in one, but Usopp comes to save the day, but Nami is still mad at him, thinking that he abandoned her. And then this is when we get the really cool dinner scene. Oh my gosh, this food looks so good.
Yeah, I desperately want to go to like a One Piece restaurant where that they flaunt it as like Sanji's cooking. Like I really want to try some of the dishes that he's made. Like I have the One Piece cookbook, but I suck as a chef, so I can't make these.
We're introduced to this dude named Kotetsu, and my man is like he's beefy and he's clearly a chef, but he's got like this like huge spatula. It's like the size of him, and he's wearing butter on his feet. And they are on this giant like it looks, I guess, like almost like a skating rink.
It's a big hibachi grill.
Then there is fire, and yeah, it is a gigantic hibachi grill, and he's like basically skating all about, doing a beautiful hibachi performance, to which Sanji is like, fuck you. This is my thing that I do, and my captain is looking at your food like it's good, and I hate you.
Yeah, he is so angry. However, we did miss a tiny little scene where you see it turns out that Omatsuri and his men were once pirates. They were known as the Red Arrow Pirates. This was a pirate island, and Papa is telling Chopper this while they're looking like at an old bounty poster, and he notices something really weird about the poster. But then he says, it's like, oh, the Baron seems like really young. And this is when somebody comes up behind him and shoots him in the back. And it turns out to be the Baron. And you kind of notice that the Baron hasn't like really aged at all.
No, he's the one who has.
He's the only person who's at age. The rest of the pirates haven't.
Yeah, in that wanted poster, he looks decidedly younger.
Yeah, no beard, things like that. Like he's much younger. So yeah, back to Sanji versus Kotetsu on the hibachi cooktop in Fabulous. I would read a cooking manga about that. Like that's just like that's like a sports combined with cooking like that. That'd be so much fun.
Don't watch the scene while you're hungry,
basically-
by the way, because you're gonna be like, "Oh God, I'm so hungry."
I know there's a
after
cooking
watching it,
anime where like
Yeah.
the food's so good it knocks their clothes off. I don't think that's the same thing.
'cause- Nope.
No.
That's Food Wars.
That sounds like a lot of fun, but it is not the kind of thing I'm thinking of.
But so I mean,
Basically, they have a game of what I can only refer to as hibachi hockey.
basically,
And Sanji ends up winning
Of course.
with a giant like okonomiyaki that he incorporates the other guy's
get the
yakisoba into. Oh, it looked so good. It looked so good.
Yeah.
And then he's like, "Okay, Robin, did you notice?" No, she's not paying attention. She left. Nami, did you notice? No. She was first insulting Usopp and now is drinking with Mochi Guro. And then he's like, "Zoro also didn't notice, and I am the most mad."
He's more mad that Zoro didn't see him. So there you go.
Boyfriend.
There you go, Zosan gang. There you go.
Yeah, so
Okay.
Nami tries to get Muchigoro to drink, and so because he has a high alcohol tolerance, and she can easily outdrink him and hopefully get information out of him by flirting with him. So doing that, Muchigoro just goes on about the bear and how he's full of courage and strength, and also, about how let's see. Oh, I see. Let me go to the wiki. Oh yeah, now I remember. And Usopp leaves the cookout earlier and he got ambushed by this weird copper kid who keeps saying "poo," and
He says
And at
poo
first
at
he
the end
di-
of his sentences.
okay.
It's the way that you said that, it made it sound like he was saying poo, not it's like poo as in pu, and as in the way that a lot of Japanese characters add little things to the end of their sentences in their
Yeah,
speech.
One Piece does this a lot.
Like how kind of how like characters like crab characters often say kami kami and shit like that.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Kani.
Yeah, he says poo as in pu, not poo as in like shit. Good old pu.
shit. Which I'm assuming is probably one that is associated with Kappa.
I'm
some
sure
reason.
the
I
wiki
don't
will
know.
tell you the trivia for that one. I'm gonna go look into it myself while you guys continue.
Yeah, and Robin and starts to explore more the island, and then that's where she notices a bunch of broken ships just littered in this one area, and she just going to this mountain. Then, but while that was going on, Muchiguro claims that his captain of let's see,
Muchiguro.
Muchiguro, yeah.
Where are you going? I'm a little
was,
confused. You started talking about Kappa and then you went off.
Oh fuck! Sorry, I'm just a little tired.
Yeah,
sorry.
I didn't.
No, it's fine.
I didn't see why he says
Yeah.
poo at the end of his sentences or what the significance
Yeah, I'm
is.
not
But
seeing
the only
that.
trivia I saw was he is the first of 2 Kappa characters introduced in One Piece. One that Austin's not going to see for a very long time.
Okay, so during this time, Nami's been getting Muchiguro to drink. He's always like, "Yeah, you know what? I've been drinking all day, whatever." Nami is trying to get information out of him, like Jad said, and he's like, "Wait, why aren't you with your friend?" She's like, "I'm not sure." Sanjay is also, like we mentioned, he's pissed. He tries to go find Robin, but we have no idea. He doesn't know where she is. But then, so Muchiguro is just talking about how much he loves the bear and how he doesn't even lose to Gold Roger. And Nami's like, "Oh, wait, what?" And he's like, "You don't know who Gold Roger is?" Like, "Yeah, I know who he is, but he's been executed." And he's like, I guess I saw
He
him
died 20
yesterday."
He died 20 years ago, dude.
And then
I know, and he's like, "No, I just saw it like this morning."
then he mentions a storm, a really really bad storm, and we go back to Rava, and she discovered that the ships belong to the Baron, and she sees the Baron behind her. Is that Muchiguro then says Lily Carnation. That's what he told Robin earlier, and then the Baron shows Robin the flower's secret. It's a flower of recarnation, quote unquote, but it turns out that the flower is this huge tube-shaped thing at the top. It kind of looks like the stem that comes out of an apple. And we go back to Muchiguro. He's like freaking out a little bit, and Nami tries to find out more about the storm, but like he pulls his hands away, and his face is like kind of like rotting. It's like decaying.
Yeah, he rots in real time, basically, and it seems like it almost like shorts his brain out, and he gets all like purple and wrinkly, and like whatever she did broke the spell, essentially, and he's bundled up and taken.
And now
away
you know why I
before she
invited
can
our two
investigate any
guests,
further.
because they're horror enthusiasts. This
I'm
film
so
is secretly
excited.
a horror film.
Okay.
I was so excited.
Yeah, so see, then Sanji's like, okay, Luffy, Robin is gone. Zoro says she was off to investigate, so they realize Usopp is gone too. You know, everybody is like bickering. And he's like, what are you gonna do? He's like, Luffy, this is like your fault. You wanted us to come here. This is your fault, and it hurts Luffy. And this time the Baron comes by, is like, hey, it's time for the third trial. However, because he finds Muchiguro, and he's like, oh crap, we gotta speed this up. So the Kappa boy, his name is DJ Kappa. Sanjay and Zoro are just like, whatever. DJ catches their attention, but they insult him, and he's like, you're also wearing our buddy Usopp's hat. Why do you have it? And DJ runs and like hides behind the Baron, but the Baron says like, you gotta accept the trial. Sanji says no. Zoro also says no, and fucks off. Same with Nami.
They also called him a kappa at one point.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And he was like, what the fuck? How dare you?
That's what he is. It's like, why are you insulted for them calling you what?
Oh my God, Zoro, you can't just say someone's a kappa.
So,
That's basically how it was. The dude is like, he didn't realize.
so
He's got green hair. And
then it turns out this is the shooting trial, like those shooting games they have at various festivals. For some reason, all the dudes have skateboards. Baron questions Luffy, and Luffy says, give me back my friends, you fuck. And Baron's like, haha, nope. He readies up his bow. He generates an hour out of nowhere. Luffy's like, okay, that's not normal. And he keeps on dodging. And, you know,
we get like interspersed cuts though with like Zoro and
Nami and
the DJ Gappa. But every time he like tries to slice him up, like do his little Zoro thing, he's like, I'm fine. And then he starts realizing he's fine and is like, I don't understand.
I'm still alive.
Why am
I'm
I
not bleeding.
Yeah, why am I still alive? Why am I not hurt? And asks the Baron, and the Baron's just like, oh, you're so strong. And he's like, yeah, that's kind of what I thought. But you can see that he's like doubting it.
And when he walks away, he sort of like stops, and the Baron's like, are you okay? He's like, I'm fine. But it turns out he's starting to also deteriorate. A lot of
he looks fucking terrifying in that shot.
And everybody else on the island has collapsed. Kotatsu, the four wise men, they all think they did it. They just they had too much fun, and it's like, we'll be okay in the morning. But the thing is, it's the Lily Carnation needs to eat. That's why they're all falling apart. It's that the Lily Carnation cannot sustain these forms unless it's being fed. And then we see Brief again. Brief somehow, I don't know where Brief got this goat. I guess the goat was on the boat with him when it crashed. Okay. And he's
got like a whole apartment.
Yeah.
Set up like in the middle of this island with a goat. And a surprising amount of items.
Yep.
I guess they were probably on his ship with him.
Oh, and it was mustache. Mustache is the word he says means mustache because it says, as you can see, I'm by myself. I'm the only one left of the mustache pirate crew. But basically the reason he's the only one left is because the Baron took the rest of the mustache pirates and fed him to the flower. Yep. And then we get, oh god, okay, so then this is where it starts getting really dark. Chopper is awake. He is near that weird tube. The pirate family is there, and Daisy, the littlest girl, is like scared. And the flower, it's still trying to maintain its innocent facade, and it's like, I'm hungry. And Baron's like, I'm so sorry. And these weird stringy like roots like come out. And it grabs Daisy, the little girl, and Chopper's like, "Oh, hell to the nah." No means no, bitch. Like he becomes, all buff, and he attacks, and he's like, "You guys need to run." It unfortunately,
but like,
go ahead.
As he's being yanked up, the little kids, essentially are like, no, like Daisy comes and she tries to like pull him back down, and then all of her siblings,
baby. She's like, we have to save Reindeer Son.
So cute. And then like her siblings come and try too, but then their dad comes over and basically uses his strength. Initially, they think is to help them, but to pull them away, which I can't totally blame him for. Yeah. He is a dad.
What he does next sucks, though,
and I think that's
He slaps one of his daughters, which was cool. You didn't need to do that.
Yeah, that was.
And this guy laughed at the Baron. Dick.
Yeah, they were like, "How dare you? Why did you do that?" And you're like, "You are a coward." And
the reason the Baron laughed at it is because the Baron thrives on discord and people's bonds breaking in front of him. He really enjoys that.
Okay.
Yeah, he literally like says as much. Like when that happens, he's like, "Yes, give me more."
Now
it's
brief
disconcerting.
Says that like the Baron is disturbed, man. He only wants to bring suffering and hatred to everyone else, but we're gonna get to that in a bit. And then Brief says specifically, you cannot fight him alone. But Luffy is stubborn, and he's like, well, I'm gonna go save my friends. Chopper's like, my friends are gonna come for me, and the Baron's like, lol, no. But because
they're already in here.
Yes, and it is
they're already in there, yeah.
Dark looking, because it's like this white, like weird liquid, and their bodies are bright red.
They're like photo negative almost.
Like, yes,
and
we should probably mention that while Brief is telling Luffy all of this, it is in his like weird underground apartment. So Luffy does not see this stuff happening initially. But he somehow senses it, and that's when he decides he has to like go run out and find them.
Yeah, he's got that sixth sense.
Yeah.
Not entirely impossible given what's revealed in the series later.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so, unfortunately, Chopper joins the others, and the little flower that's on the Baron, it starts like acting like it's munching, and me and Luffy realized that the little thing on the flower was a bib, which is
it's like a little
disgusting.
It's kind of like a when you stuff a napkin like down your shirt as like a makeshift bib. That's what it's like to me, at least.
Yeah, and then Muchigoro just pops out of the earth because he's not a person; he's a plant. Basically, he's like, "Hey, what happened, Baron?" And he's like, "Oh, nothing." And the way the Baron talks to him, you realize. The way he talks, he really does love Muchigoro, and we will get to that in a bit. So, Luffy is doing like that badass walk towards the Baron. However, it is at this point, again, he said, don't fight him alone. It's just, he then like he starts like going into detail about who's dying in the flower, and Luffy's trying to use his arms but each time he does, the Baron makes an arrow and shoots it, leaving like Luffy only with his like neck to extend. And there's this really like gut-wrenching scene of him realizing that Zoro is like being absorbed by the flower. It is a very haunting and emotional and effective scene.
Yeah, Zoro is his first mate. He was the first friend he ever had. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, you know, so also DJ Gappa like wakes up among everyone, and they're
Fine.
waking up, and everyone's like, "Oh, we're so like energized and pumped," like because we're starting to realize they don't remember their past lives. They just come back.
They very
with
much
energy.
do not seem to realize that they are like not people.
Yeah, and the Baron's like, you know, taunting Luffy. Luffy's not doing anything, but Brief uses like all the tunnels he made and pulls Luffy down.
Yeah.
And we find that and even Brief says like, I'm not gonna let this guy die, and just disappears back into the ground. And the pirate family are there.
I was trying to.
They're taking.
Did the whole like rain of arrows happen?
no, it
before
was
or
after. It was after.
No, after.
Okay.
After.
I just wanted to make sure.
Don't
so-
forget
Yeah.
that
Okay.
while Baron was taunting Luffy about the defeat of his crew, like he literally pinned down all of his limbs. Like, yeah, he pinned
Yeah.
his,
He, like,
his
really
hands,
Everything.
one of his legs until like that. Well, both of his legs, and he eventually Luffy almost tries to attack the Baron and the flower, but and he was firing the arrows at him, but you think he stabs Luffy in the head with them, but no, he caught it with his teeth. But it wasn't enough.
Yep.
Yeah, not to be cruel or like to bring up cruel imagery or anything, but kind of like, you know how you would pin like something that's being dissected, like each of the hands and the feet. Not like Jesus, because the feet are also spread out.
Yeah, no, we won't be seeing crucifixions in the series for quite a bit.
Yeah.
Okay,
So-
so
Thankfully, Brief and the family managed to rescue Luffy.
thank God.
They must attend to the runes. Brief says that the Straw Hats that Luffy's crew could still be alive because they can actually hear the voices calling out to Luffy.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And apparently she's able to hear things that normal people can't hear because Luffy and the rest of the characters can't hear their voices.
Yeah, and knowing what I
Yeah.
know about future revelations, it is interesting that they toyed with this idea this early in the series. So
Yeah, she is like, I can hear them. Are you Luffy? Like, which is very fun that she apparently did not know his name at this point still.
Yeah, and so Brief then is like, okay, we're gonna use my holes because the arrows are too dangerous. It's like, don't listen to what the Baron says. You are not truly alone. And he does
We're
a little
gonna use
pose.
my holes.
So, you know, the Baron's just been shooting arrows. He sees a walking figure. It really reveals that after like some fighting, it turns out that Brief that he made a clone of Luffy out of straw, which is kind of funny because, you know, he calls him Straw Hat.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
it's
Straw Hat.
it's his nickname. So
Mhm.
Straw Hat, Straw Man.
Okay, so
So
then
yeah.
the Baron is like, "Oh, Brief, I'm gonna kill you," but Luffy is like, "Nah, dog," and he gets some like some dirt, like some stone, and uses it as a shield, and like the Baron was even like, "You really want to be this loser's friend?" He's seriously like, "What's wrong with you, dude?" But Luffy once again is like, "Yeah, this dude's my friend. Fuck off, man."
And that like really touches Brief, who like, you
That's,
know,
like, crying.
obviously didn't, you know, lost all of his friends and stuff. He gets all teary, and that's when like Luffy does his little chohige, like his little symbol
Yeah.
from his pirates, and he's like, I can love you so much for this.
And then, you know, he goes into, I think he looks to be in the you know, the tube to be like, where are my friends?
Mhm.
However, it says like, but Data's like, wait a second, no, the voices are coming from somewhere else. Okay, so you know that little flower
Yeah, they like
we've mentioned?
destroyed the tube, and there was
So,
nothing in
like,
it.
both Luffy and
essentially.
me, it's like, I don't trust that thing. And we were right not to trust it because the thing is a parasite. And it then all of a sudden starts, like, growing more eyes. It burst. And from out of it come this, like, long tendril that's got all these bumps on it, but out of the tendrils are like these flowers that are in the shape of his friends. It's one of the most
Austin, when you saw this,
Holy shit.
yeah, Austin, when you saw this, didn't this look like the tentacles that Nemesis has on his shoulders?
Yeah, it did. Oh my god.
I hadn't played Resident Evil when I first watched this, but when I saw it, I was like, oh my god, that's the thing that Nemesis used to catch a rocket.
To me, like the way in which this like developed this thing, first the flower turned into essentially like Audrey 2.
Yep.
From like
it's like if
like,
Audrey
Little
2
Shop.
and the piranha plant had a baby.
Ugh. And then
and
rotted.
like it had, you know, it has like the kind of like flat head but with like all the creepy teeth and stuff. And then as the tendrils were like coming out, it becomes this like, this amalgamation, this portmanteau of like these bodies. But the way that they're done, it's almost like a melted marble kind of like whiteness. And I thought it was very evocative. I thought it looked a lot like Junji Ito in his Uzumaki era. And I was digging it.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
Creepy as hell.
It was so unsettling and then gross and...
Hard to forget you're watching a One Piece movie.
I know, and...
Yeah.
Despite all this, and... Oh yeah, and then that big tube who Luffy was fighting earlier turns into thousands of arrows, and they just rain down, a lot of them hitting its back.
Yeah.
It looks so
cool. And the sound, like the sound effect of it is almost like a rain stick. Like that's how many there are. And Baron says a line about how there's one arrow there for every day that he has spent alone.
So there's like thousands of them.
So presumably he just shot one of there, I guess, every day for years. And I think that's why as they're falling down, it does have that like rain stick sound. I think it's meant to also sound like tears.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's a really cool effect.
Yeah, it is. But see, despite all this, you know, Luffy. So Daisy, this little girl, she was like the real MVP here.
She really was.
And the Baron also
so
like
cute.
looks really messed up. His like body is like all gray now. He's like so like, you know, Luffy says give them back. Like he's still somehow alive with all these arrows that have pierced his skin. He's like give them back. And
he's like a zombie.
Then Daisy also admits I've always been able like to hear things because her dad asked, his like, you know, and I think it's implied that the ring that he wears around his neck, that's his wife's ring. Well, Daisy like says, you know, I've always been able to hear things, and I even heard you talking to Chopper behind the tombstone. You always are trying to impress us, but she goes, but Papa, you are really strong. And
it was so cute.
Yes, and this is like he finally, you know, grows a backbone. He picks up this really massive arrow that the Baron left behind. He's trying to like hold it still, and the Lily Carnation turns around and makes this really creepy noise. And
it is the most disturbing sound. I want to know what Foley artist was contacted for this. I need to know them by name because that thing was creepy as fuck.
That person's got to pay for my like therapy bills for like the next few days, because
I need to know how that was achieved.
Same here. But the Papa, you know, releases the arrow and it hits the Lily. Now, all of a sudden, like the Baron's freaking out. He's like, Lily, no. Because he starts also mentioning all his friends. He's like freaking out. And then, you know, Luffy comes.
Like when it hits that Lily too, it like one arrow destroys that thing. It like breaks apart into like nasty like meat chunks with like what I can only presume are its internal organs and like green bile everywhere. It was a good shot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was quite disgusting. And it hit in its vitals, so that's why it was effective. It was one shot, one kill.
Yeah.
And once again, you hear like the Baron is really, really upset. He is like weeping.
Yeah.
He's trying to pick up the parts of the body, and he's like, no, he's like, Muchikuro, Kotetsu, DJ, what am I gonna do? And he's like, and Baron's pissed at Papa. But then Luffy comes up, he's like, surprise, bitch, did you forget me? And punches him in the face. Now, originally I didn't have like any sympathy for the Baron, but then we hear the Baron, he's like crying because it turns out that storm they talked about, it killed everybody except for the Baron. So what happened is, instead of moving on, the Baron in his grief, it somehow, the Lily saw him and was like, oh, hey, here's a grieving, sad, desperate sack of a man who I can exploit, and I can tell him, I can bring your friends back, but you have to feed me. Because, see, his friends, he hears his friends, like, from heaven being like, boss, we're really sorry that, we died and left you, but you should have moved on. We didn't want that
made
for
you friends.
Like, yeah, they're like, they understand, but they're like, you should have moved on. We know you, we miss you too. Like, it was really, really sweet and really heartbreaking, because it means that the flower purposely chose the Baron.
Yeah.
And didn't
like
to use
presumably
him.
If the flower seems to be kind of like the only like real living thing on this island. So like presumably this poor dude crashed there all by himself. Everyone else is dead. And like this thing befriended him, because he did talk about it like it was a friend.
Yeah.
And told him that he could have all of his friends back, But it also means that he probably buried all of them. Now that I'm thinking
Probably all
about
those
it.
graves.
Yeah, because don't forget about all those graves.
Like, he probably had to bury every one of his friends
Oh my god.
by hand, and I just can't.
Trusting him.
That had to be fucking heartbreaking.
Yeah.
I don't know. That
Again,
just
fuck
sucks.
this flower.
And I think
Flowers.
him hearing the voices of his friends telling him to move on was an allegory for it was a metaphor for him coming to his senses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, of course, Luffy didn't die. Come on, he's the main character. He can't die.
He survived worse and will.
So you say.
So it
I'll
turns
never
out
forget
that, like,
911.
everybody's okay. It kind of seems, like they might not fully remember what happened. But Robin, like, stops and she looks over to see this flower with, like, these three flowers, and the Baron's goggles are next to it.
Yeah.
And it ends with Luffy just laughing, and that is the end of this really, really, really dark but totally awesome One Piece movie.
Don't forget too, Muchiguro and all of his minions, when the flower was defeated, they all turned into roots.
Turned into a tree. Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they weren't like even like zombies or anything. They were just roots. And presumably at some point maybe the Baron was too, because he turned into the same kind of like purpley creature and then was just flowers. So maybe he was so connected to it at that point, because it is a parasite. And often at some point, once the parasite dies, so does the host, depending on how symbiotic the relationship
Don't forget
is.
too, Muchiguro mentioned his relationship with Gold Roger. Gold Roger has been dead for 2 decades.
Yep.
So he has been symbiotic codependent on this thing for at minimum 2 decades.
Yeah. And depending on how old he was when they crashed, we don't know.
Yeah, I think Gold Roger and them mentioning that they knew him was the key, though, because it's a very distinct point in the story when he was killed.
Yeah.
So no less and certainly no more than 20 years. But yeah, that was One Piece the movie 6, Baron Omatsuri and the Secret Island. I think it's fair to say it's, again, I said this before, fair to say it's the best of the early era of the One Piece films.
I really liked it.
I loved it.
So before
was
we
a
give our
fan.
formal reviews and our scores, we have some categories to go over. So for those of you that don't know, our first category is who was the MVP, the most valuable pirate? I will let one of our guests go first. Who do you think was the most valuable pirate here?
Does it have to be a pirate? Does it have to be a pirate?
No,
Because
it's like
It could be a character.
yeah, it can be
any character.
Yeah, basically, it's just
main character.
it can be any character you think that did the most work in the movie.
Brief.
Daisy.
Oh,
Brief.
Brief. Yeah, Brief is one of the few side characters that are non-canon that was actually effective.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that Daisy did a lot of work. I feel like she drove a lot of the really emotional scenes
Yes.
and kind of brought out the best in Chopper and Luffy and her dad.
Mhm.
And for a teeny little girl, that was a lot of work. So MVP award to her.
Well, Austen, we have to pick other characters because they've already picked.
Who chose Daisy?
Me. Luffy. Luffy did.
Luffy?
Yes.
Piss off. That was gonna be my choice. That was gonna be my choice.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not, but you know.
Now, granted,
yeah.
Daisy's no Madaka from Gonzok, but she was one of the better non-canon kids.
Her actress was like fucking great too.
Oh yeah, and she'll play an important role in the anime later.
Good for her.
Okay, my pick is... I'm not gonna let you steal from me, John. My pick is Luffy.
Yeah, Luffy was the one who solved it all in the end.
Yeah.
Because he tanked a bunch of arrows and yet he refused to give up, even despite seeing all the horrors that his crew was going through from this Omatsuri guy.
All right,
Sometimes you're a beautiful man made of taffy, and you take advantage of that.
Well, we fought a guy made of taffy a couple movies ago.
Oh
yeah. Okay, so who's your pick, John?
You may think you have won, but I need my wife to win. Nami gets my vote because she actually drunk under the table to get useful information.
Really?
Yes.
I do think that is very sexy of her.
Now you could say like, but John, she got absorbed with the flower. So did everybody fucking else.
Like honorable mention to Sanji though, just for one of the more fun scenes.
Oh,
because I did find his hockey game very fun.
Well,
Yeah,
you have a chance to nominate him in a future category.
Okay.
Now this one may either be easier or harder. Who was the LVP of this movie?
Least valuable?
Yeah,
Least. The flower. That fucking flower.
I don't know if that counts.
Fuck that guy.
But
Yeah,
sure.
fuck that flower.
Rudy, you got to pick another one. Luffy picked that one.
The Kappa. The Kappa.
DJ Kappa, get your least valuable pirate.
Yes.
I mean,
Poor little guy.
he was
Poor little guy.
so hard to be swag.
He was just a little guy.
Oh
He
my
was
goodness.
just a little guy.
Oh my goodness.
All right, I'm gonna go before Austen on this one. Our guest got to go first. Shut up. Who did the least in this one? That's really hard because this movie really utilizes the whole crew as best they possibly can. I'm gonna go with Usopp.
Yeah, he kind of didn't have a lot in this one.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, he won his competitions through dumbass luck.
That's not like atypical of him, but he really didn't have like a lot of focus in the competition.
Well, he did. Granted,
was...
he did get the finishing blow on the frogs with his fake hammer, but still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, thankfully you didn't take mine. My vote was Nico Robin.
Really?
Oh,
No.
really?
And there wasn't
Interesting.
there wasn't a whole lot. Okay, I should reiterate, this was a tough call because unlike the past movies, they really utilized the Straw Hats in a different way in this film. But
Yeah.
fuck, aside from the fish See, I'm struggling. Okay, guys, I'm tired.
Well,
No,
I think what it is.
Solid.
I think what it is she's one of the first people to get caught. That you could use that as your good argument.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So let's go with that.
Okay, so
like,
yes, go ahead.
I feel like the last movie I watched with y'all, I can't remember if Chopper was in it or not.
He was not.
Like a lot of, like Chopper got a lot more. I think time, like screen time, more of a plot in this than some other arcs and stuff. So yeah, I think that they sometimes kind of cycle.
Yeah, the last movie the last movie you watched with us, it was Sanji's first movie.
Yeah, and he had a bit more focus.
Yeah, because he had just gotten added in the anime.
Yep.
All right, so now it's time for the best scene, and I'm going first. The scene where where Brief's asking him to join the crew, and he just stares at him like an autistic.
That's gonna be my scene.
I'm definitely. You said best scene.
Yes, this is best scene.
I'm going back to hibachi hockey. That's my favorite thing. I'm sorry, that was great. Give me 10 seasons on a movie, I would watch it.
Wait, let me rephrase what I said earlier. Luffy gives him the Gen Z stare.
Okay, so Rudy's kind of weird. I'm a person who will watch people removing lipomas and cysts and stuff.
Oh, I love doing that.
Things that people find gross. So like people will be like, ooh, and I'm like, cool. So that scene where the flower transformed, I was like, that is so disturbing and disgusting. And
we are shaking hands. We are shaking hands.
Yes, I was like
those like pimple popper videos and shit. Oh, those things are so gross and cool.
No, when I used to watch Tosh.0 in college, there was one where like someone was popping like a back-sized one. I was like, nope, I noped out, shut the TV off.
That got me into those.
Yeah.
That was like the one thing that Tosh.0 gave to me.
Yeah, see, I've always been kind of weird, so it's like, despite my really cutesy exterior, I like weird, bizarre stuff, and I really like body horror, so I was like, okay, that's really disturbing, but it's also really cool. Instead of just making it like a simple flower, they actually put some effort into the design, and I always appreciate that. Like, the character design makes my mind go, brrr.
All right, before Austen loses his appetite, what's this building to?
Okay, my favorite scene.
Wait, did you pick your scene?
Wait, no.
Yes, I said my
That's what I was saying. I was like, what's this building to?
Apache. Okay.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
But you didn't go yet, did you, John?
No, I was like, no, wait, Luffy picked their scene, but did Rudy pick their scene?
I did.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was the flower.
The flower bursting.
Yeah, the flower.
Okay. So sorry, it's late for everybody here.
Yeah.
Okay. For my scene, it's after Omatsuri goes down in one punch, and he hears all the voices of his dead crewmates telling him that it's fine that he misses him, but he needed to move on and find new friends.
And maybe don't feed our consciousness consciousnesses to a flower, please.
I was a little curious about whether or not like the crewmates were like, was it their consciousness or was it really just like his memories?
I think it was just a big metaphor for him coming to his senses.
Mm-hmm. I just meant like the things that he created, like the moving guys that they made out of the roots. I can only assume that they were some sort of like that they gained their personalities from him. Yeah, because they were in the wanted poster in that picture that he had on the wall. Mm-hmm. So yes, but it had been so long that they've been subsisting on a parasite that they slowly became more plant than human.
Yeah,
I see. I thought that maybe he just recreated, like that the flower recreated essentially dolls from the roots based on the memories that the Baron had.
Well, he did bury his friends, so they were in the dirt.
So could have also stolen their memories.
And then when enough time passed, where like, they rotted, then they just decomposed, and now they're just part of the earth again.
Maybe it didn't fucking get that far because apparently the flower just eats shit. He's just like, dead body. I don't know.
Dead body slurp. All right. Worst scene.
Worst
scene. Okay, let me think.
Okay.
Uh,
I actually have one.
okay.
Go ahead.
So it is when that fish is getting bounced out of the bucket and onto Chopper, and only because I felt bad for the fish. I'm like, she didn't ask to be a part of this, and her owner is using her for this stupid game, and also she's out of the water too long. Get her back in the water; she's gonna die.
Also, his owner's not even really alive, as we learned.
Yeah, even still though, I just didn't like it. I was like, no, get her back in the water. Get her back in the water.
Okay, and
I've got.
Do you want to go first, Luffy? Or?
I've got one. I didn't like when Sanji fat shamed the other guy.
No,
I was not a fan of that.
No, Sanji, that's a no. Everybody's beautiful.
I thought that the scene where, when Mochiguro was starting to short out and turn, it was just visually disturbing to me.
It was chilling.
Yeah, but his with his character design, it was very just upsetting to me visually.
Oh yeah.
It wasn't a bad scene, but my brain went, no.
No thanks.
Okay, so my scene is when the dad just slap. My worst scene is when the dad just slaps the doll in the face.
Yeah, that one sucked.
Yeah, that was fucked up.
There was no reason to do that, dude. She wasn't going crazy or anything. Just why did you do that?
I mean, I assume because the island shows the Discord or whatever was my thought process there, but it still was sucky.
Yeah. I hope it's because the air around them was causing them to, because that's how he feeds on people.
Yeah.
He breaks their bonds, and then when they're at their lowest point, eats them.
Yeah, because the scene with Sanji and Luffy, I also was not a huge fan of, where he's just yelling at him it's your fault we're here. Bitch, you also wanted to go because you thought there were titties there. So none of that was necessary. So
yeah, it was the atmosphere fucking with them. That's what it was.
Yeah, which is makes me think that's probably what was happening with the other guy too. But I still didn't like it.
All right, so we're gonna skip the next two categories because that's best fight and worst fight. There really only was one fight in this, so that doesn't feel fair.
Yeah.
So this one's gonna be an easy one for everyone here. Review the villainy of the villain. How villainous was Baron Omatsuri and, by extension, Lily Carnation?
The fucking flower. Okay, so I'm sorry. I don't mean to just take this over, but I hate people who prey on others, especially people who cannot defend themselves, people who can not think for themselves, people who I hate people who prey on children, I hate people who prey on the elderly, I hate people who prey on people who don't know better. It drives me nuts. There is nothing that gets my blood boiling more than somebody taking advantage of somebody else and reveling in it. Fuck this flower. You took advantage of a grieving man. He lost every single person on that ship, and you used him for your own selfish gain, you stupid little nation. I hope you rot in the pits of hell. I hope you never get watered again. I hope the dirt you're in is dry and nasty and stinky, and I hope you get stepped on every single day of your rotten, miserable existence.
Good thing there's no water in hell.
Yeah, so that's how I feel about the flower.
No, yeah, fuck that flower. Fuck that flower for real. I was, as far as, the metaphor that it was going for of it being parasite and draining him literally, of his humanity, that was all, well done. But yeah, fuck that flower. I feel the Baron himself, I don't know that he was really...
I think he was more a victim.
And he was an unwitting victim.
He was certainly a villain, and his behavior was, not great. But his motivation made it feel more like he was a puppet, and a puppet who has been trapped in his grief for at least 20 years, if not longer.
Yeah.
And that just sounds like hell.
Yeah, I think this is very interesting that we got a literal parasite as a One Piece villain as opposed to an opposing pirate crew. That made it way more interesting. I want to say that they haven't done an interesting villain like that since. I'm like, no, there have been some great One Piece villains to follow this one, but this one is like the most interesting thus far. You just being a literal horrific parasite that you'd expect from like Resident Evil or something. I thought it was. It's clearly the best villain of the classic era. Let's call it for sure. Definitely strong. I don't really want to give it. Don't really want to give it a score, but I was like, no, this is very good.
Because I feel like you're right. Like in the vast majority of ways, One Piece is a very traditional shonen, and that encompasses, typically physical villains that you can fight and punch and are just like guys who maybe have a tragic backstory but are like guys. And this thing was a guy, but also not a guy. Like the flower was very much not a guy.
Yeah, I don't think Baron Omatsuri had his own agency at all.
Yeah, not at this point.
Awesome.
Okay, and
you got anything to add, Austen? Yeah, you got anything to add?
Yeah. It was a very different take. Like you said, I don't think we've seen much parasite villains in shonen manga, especially in not like that, where it was just a guy being manipulated out of the grief of his friend, loss of his friends and his crew, and it was a very interesting take. Like Rudy put it best. Like, you won't expect to feel any sympathy for that guy except for that final scene. Like, holy crap. So, I guess I'll rate the villain then.
Yeah.
I give him a Seymour Clearborn out of Poison Ivy.
Something like that.
Yeah, that's actually, I think, a good way to sort of describe
I'm going to give him.
Again,
I'm going to give him a piranha plant out of Las Plagas.
I don't know. He's got just like, he's got Flowey vibes to me. Like, so it's like, I know that there's other parasite themed things that I have read, and I always find it just to be so interesting. Seeing it in One Piece is just so wild.
I really have to know. I have to know if Toby Fox has seen this movie.
Oh, John, I got another one. I can rate him. A flowery out of those spore things from The Last of Us.
so a Asriel Dreamer out of Cordyceps.
I was about to say it definitely is a Cordyceps thing. Have you guys ever watched Amphibia?
No.
You should at some point. There is an episode with these Cordyceps that take over this dude, and they're trying to like get onto all the other dudes. And they are, I believe they named themselves Gary, which I love for them. Good for you, Cordyceps. But there's such an interesting, like, concept to me. But I have to imagine Toby Fox has seen this because, like, the flowering transformation,
it looks
very similar to me.
Plus, the barrage of arrows reminds me of like the bullet hell stuff. And
yes.
the weird tentacle that has the straw hats in it. I'm like, that's what Flowey does at the end of Undertale. He has like Sans, Papyrus, and all them like latched onto him.
And like, just it's like that expansion. They're honestly, what is that one called? There is one like called Parasite, not the one with the Y. That's about like a creepy, very weirdly kind of like pseudo-incestuous siblings where one is like a literal parasite and transforms like that, except like her whole body. It's wild.
Sounds wild.
It's like a cannibalism as love kind of story. It's really weird.
Jesus.
All right.
But the art is so good.
So, I don't think I would feel fair doing this next category right at the opening and the ending. We were talking over it, so I didn't hear it. Plus, it sounded like your standard fare anime ending song.
Mhm.
Didn't stand out like the one that they did. The one for movie 4 that we did with Trash Queen and King way back when was done by a Bump of Chicken who did the second Spy Family opening. That was way more notable, but because it was them.
Oh my gosh, I love that opening.
Yeah. So I'm going to skip that one. So we're going to go right to our final category, the fruit score. So it's probably been a while since Rudy and Luffy were on a previous episode. So Austin, why don't we give our fruit scores and then we'll let them go last. So what's your fruit score for this film?
I'll be giving this one a 4.5 out of 5.
Damn.
Yeah, like some of the proportions on the characters get a little wonky at times, but that's just the loose art style the director is known for. And I really admire Furt's ambition. Like, it started out as a typical One Piece movie, but then it quickly devolved into the horror genre, which it's two genres that don't exactly usually mess, but they made it work here, and it was pure eye candy and so unsettling.
Okay.
Like, okay.
I'll go last. I'll let our guest go next.
I'm actually also going to give it a 4.5. I was impressed with the storyline and the way that they did manage to integrate this this horror subplot in a way that actually still felt natural to One Piece. Like, I wouldn't be like, this is so fucking OOC, like this doesn't make any sense to like the world or whatever. They made it make sense. And they made it work for the characters, and I was impressed by that. I did think that the animation was very smooth, even if character design is a little weird at times. And I thought the side characters were pretty solid, better than they are in some of the other films. Yeah,
I didn't hate a single one of them. Well, maybe the dad at that one part, but it's plot contextually, I think it made sense.
Yeah, and I didn't hate any of their designs. I thought that Briefs was a little weird, but I could see what it was going for. And I didn't hate them. I didn't think they were stupid or gimmicky or
and none of them are racist caricatures.
Yeah, true.
they just didn't suck. I was impressed by that.
All right, that leaves Rudy, and then I'll go last.
My 5.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I really liked this one, and again, I am a horror girl. I love me some body horror, and you know what? Okay, I think a long time ago when Rudy was little, she had a book called Stripes. It was about this young girl who wakes up and she's covered in multicolored stripes, but it gets progressively weirder because these people come in to try to help her, but she starts sprouting stuff. And that scene with the flower kind of reminded me of it. I'm like, maybe that's why I like body horror. But I think they managed to do a horror film, but still make it fit with the world of One Piece and the characters. So I was really impressed. Not to mention Mamoru Hosoda, who directed this. I really love his stuff. So I guess I'm kind of biased, but I really, really liked this. I thought it was chilling when it needed to be. The humor was good. Even though I didn't like Papa slapping his kid, it's unfortunately I could maybe understand why he did it. I don't agree with it, but I thought also the characters that they added, the random characters, actually helped. A lot of anime movies will add a bunch of random characters. Yeah, we never see these characters again, and they were absolutely useless, but these characters were actually helpful,
In a lot of those films and stuff like that, I don't mind there being one-off characters for these movies, but either they're just they're if they're just set dressing and they're just boring or gimmicky or racist, I hate that. But I really did think they utilized these characters.
Yeah, I'm glad you were on for the first One Piece movie. There was a definitely not okay depiction of a Native American. I'm gonna echo Rudy. This is a perfect 5 for me.
Oh, wow.
There has to be a okay, most of these films have been ranging from great to boring. There has to be a standard bearer for the early era, and I think this is it. This proved that you can make a fantastic non-canon One Piece movie, and you got a director who I don't think he had a storied career by that point, but people came to know him from Summer Words onward, but like he made a name for himself around this era, and I'm pretty sure this movie was part of how he made that name for himself, and it shows. It's like Luffy said, and Rudy did. It's a perfect blend of the surprise horror, but it didn't lose its identity as a One Piece movie by any stretch of the imagination. It pushed One Piece into a medium that I don't think that they'll pursue again, and I'm glad it did it. The villain was complex. Not a racist caricature. And it also features some of the best tracks in the soundtracks in the anime that, of course, get stolen and used into the main series repeatedly.
Yeah.
Not as much as the ones from the next movie, though. But there's a lot of songs I'm like, oh, came from this movie. I do that a lot in these movie reviews.
I fully agree with you that like I don't think they'll do anything like this again, and no like shade to Oda. I think he is a fantastic writer, but I think this is not his wheelhouse. And the fact that it did have a different writer is probably why this film, took this chance, and good on them. It worked.
Yeah, I'd love to see Hosoda do this again if he ever feels so inclined. But if he never does, I'm glad he did this one time. And thankfully, this isn't the end of the good One Piece movies, because we have some amazing ones coming. Unfortunately, Austen, I don't think the next one's so hot. And I already pointed out during the commentary one problem a lot of people have with it. But for now, we're talking about Baron Omatsuri and the Secret Island. And I give it a perfect 5. I strongly recommend find it if there is a way for you to find this movie and watch it. I strongly recommend it if you make it able. Or if Crunchyroll actually bothers to give these Western releases, which they're caught up with the anime and the dub now. Because I asked one of the former PR managers, like, "Hey, are you ever going to do the old movies?" And they said, "Our focus right now is catching this the anime up." And I'm like, "Okay, well, I'm pretty sure that guy doesn't work there anymore." But I want to roll up to them and go, "Hey, remember when I asked that? What's good? You guys are caught up now."
Yeah.
All right, so that'll do it for this episode of Binging the Devil's Fruit. Thank you to my 2 special guests, Rudy and Prince Luffy, for joining. I got the reaction I wanted out of you guys.
Thank you for having.
And yes, well, I would love to have you guys on again for a future movie review. There unfortunately isn't too many of those left, but the series is still going on. Maybe they'll crank out about 2 or 3 more of those before the series officially ends. But there's also the specials too. Maybe. We'll get to those when we get to them. But for now, thank you guys all so much for listening. If you did not get a chance to listen to the commentary tracks, please do. You've got to hear their reactions from when they find out this is a horror film. If there ever was a piece of content to advertise the Patreon with, it's this one. Go. Hell, I think I still have the free trial thing available. Even if you just want to see that, please go. Please go and listen to it. But for now, thank you guys all so much for listening. Be sure to join us next time for episode 73 of the podcast, where Austen and I will be covering chapters 322 to 326, the beginning of the Water 7 arc. One of my favorite arcs in the entire series, if not my favorite ever. It's so good, Austen. Yeah, I cannot wait for you to read it. Until then, I've been John Mugiwara JM.
I'm Chad Peanut.
I'm Prince Luffy.
And I'm Rudy, your resident cutie.
And remember, when binging the Devil's Fruit, make sure to take your time eating it slowly, and make sure there's not a fucking parasite in it, because you're going to wreck your morning. Have a good one, y'all. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
And don't forget, I love you, except that fucking flower.
Thank you for binging the Devil's Fruit with us today. If you'd like to enhance your binging experience even further, for just $3 a month, not only do you get access to episodes 1 week before they go live for the public, you also get exclusive access to our commentary tracks for our One Piece anime movie special reviews on our Patreon. The review episodes themselves will always be free to all listeners, but if you want the commentary tracks, that's patreon.com/superbonusround. Thanks for your support.